The Baleno might be the new king of hatchbacks at Suzuki, but you just can't ignore the Swift. It is still one of the biggest competitors in the premium hatchback space. And now with the all-new third-generation Swift making an entry into the Indian market, it was only natural that the other premium hatchbacks were going to respond. Now Honda has already prepared a facelifted Jazz, which we saw at the Tokyo Motor Show last year, and Hyundai used the 2018 Auto Expo to launch the updated Elite i20. In fact, that is the car that we have with us here today. Take a closer look at what's changed. We got a chance to sample the 2018 Elite i20 in Mumbai in its new shade of orange and in the range-topping Asta trim. The cosmetic changes are minimal but easy to notice. The three-pot detailing on the tail lights has made way for a new pattern made up of horizontal lines. It is surprising that Hyundai did not make use of the more efficient LED lighting for it. They look good nevertheless and somehow remind me of the GLA's tail lights. The reflectors and lamps placed in the rear bumper have been reprofiled too. At the front, the Elite i20 now wears the reshaped hexagonal grille, and the complex mesh pattern adds a bit of flair to the familiar face. The bumpers integrate a new design for the fog lamp housing, one that carves out vertical crevices on the outer ends for better airflow and a marginal reduction in drag. The paint quality looks quite premium too and is on par with some of the more expensive cars in Hyundai's lineup. The Elite i20's new orange and red exterior colors can also be specified with a gloss black roof, and that gets you a matching two-tone color scheme for the cabin elements as well. Speaking of the cabin, that receives a few nips and tucks too. The most important is the new touchscreen infotainment system, which now incorporates an IPS display that has lesser glare and is easier to read even from varied angles. The operating system now uses a grayscale theme for its icons and menus, replacing the blue theme that we saw on the outgoing model. The system is also compatible with Hyundai's new smartphone app that debuted with the Verna, and that lets you monitor your driving patterns, track service history and schedules, and also access certain vehicular functions like trip data. Hyundai has also thrown in an additional USB charging port that sits in line with the USB media port and the 12-volt socket in the center console. The cabin gets a black and beige combination by default and uses a darker shade of beige this time around for better endurance to dusty conditions. The upholstery is done up in matching shades too and has a new pattern compared to the outgoing car. There is no change on the seating arrangement or the contouring of the seats. They are quite comfortable, but I still feel that the rear seat could have done with more recline. Choosing the range-topping trim lets you secure the cabin with up to 6 airbags. Unlike the Grand i10, the Elite i20 is a more responsible car and gives you anti-lock brakes and the driver and front passenger airbags as a standard fit. The rear seats now come with ISOFIX child seat anchorage too. Mechanical changes to the updated Elite i20, so you continue to get the trusty 1.2-litre petrol motor or the punchy 1.4-litre diesel that we all love so much. Now, the diesel engine can be had with a 6-speed manual transmission, the petrol can be spec'd with a 5-speed manual or a CVT automatic. The one that I'm driving right now is the petrol manual. To refresh your memory about the character of these engines, both work well for urban routines and highway runs. Driving around twisties will need you to keep the petrol engine on the boil, while the diesel is easier to have fun with its healthy mid-range torque. Hyundai say that the design updates are not purely cosmetic, they also upgrade the functionality of the car. For example, those little air curtains like Hyundai likes to call them, or those air dams that you see next to the fog lights, they have improved the overall aerodynamic efficiency of the front end, and that has led to a 9% increase in fuel economy. I think it's going to be pretty marginal. It's not something that you will notice in your day-to-day use, but then it's a good addition to have. During our test on the manual petrol, we didn't find any noticeable difference in the fuel economy within the city environment. Highway runs, however, revealed a marginal improvement over the outgoing Elite i20 of similar spec. I think what you'll continue to like with the Elite i20 is the light and convenient steering wheel, the supple ride, and of course the engine options that we spoke of. So whether you're hitting the twisties, driving in the city, going for long drives on the highway, I think this remains quite a likable car. The i20 has always been a hatchback that is brimming with features, but this time around, the updated model nicely distributes these features and safety technologies across various trim levels. So if you ask me, I think in the premium hatchback space, it still is one of the best buys.